Hi, holy baby girl, Julianne Marie, who isn't acting like it at all and is denying that holiness to Vanessa and Arnold, and Georgine, and lots of other women on this list, and lots of other children, females and males, the younger ones. Julianne Marie, you're very far off the beam, and I am shocked at it. To tell you the truth, I really am shocked. But you're not alone. This culture has done something very strange among women. The women of this culture are where the real surprise is occurring, because other women around the world have figured out some level of cooperative action. They have paid family leave, they have universal health care, they have much better representation than the women here. There's clearly something going on with women here, but it is a large country, large land mass, lots of people moving around. And that's true of Russia too, and they're having big troubles there, and the same problem exists in China. These big landmass countries seem to be having a lot of trouble. So maybe that's the key issue. Maybe it is the geographical diaspora. I'm not sure what it is. In any case, I am about to do the middays broadcast, and I'm just going to do the ceremony again. And I'll put it, it's just going to be me. I'm not going to have anybody gathering with us today, just me on behalf of everyone. Very simple, on the 3521 extension. And I will do additional calls to you and all the younger generations and their mothers. And of course, that includes Vanessa and Harlan Lewis-Levis, for whom today is a very important day for both of them. And Vanessa's birthday is very important too, and it should be to all of us. And all of these young people should be to each one another, and all the women should be to one another too. And the men are important too, but the men cannot be expected to carry the whole ball of leadership among adult women. Adult women have to grow up sometime. They just can't be caught in their They just can't be caught in their electric complex little girlhood into their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, it's kind of absurd. So I'm going to do that, and you can expect to hear it in about within an hour, and I'll leave a longer message then. I'm not at all happy with your behavior, and God isn't either, and you're creating great harm for yourself and other people. I really don't know how you are. Your lack of communication is truly bizarre, and at this point on this day, for me to have to say this to you on this day, I can't tell you how I feel. I can't even find the words for it. Can't find the words for it, and I guess you're waiting for those knockout punches from me on the older men, and they're coming. You'll get them this week. But the rate at which you're going, all of you are into such denial about your helplessness and your lack of agency and your enabling and your co-optation is so unbelievable. I mean, you really do remind me of the women who did the Heil Hitler signs. You've become just like that. It's really scary. I don't believe this is the true you. I think you're under some kind of spell. You clearly have Stockholm Syndrome and you need therapy, and I'll be calling back in a little while. Every blessing.
finished.
Okay, we're going to leave this as a stereo message. And we're not finished. We're not at all finished, and we're keeping going here. We're going to leave this version of the ceremony as a stereo message. You heard a little bit from the phone line here. We're not finished. We're just beginning on a you might call the final push, or the big push. I won't say final, but a big push. A big push to birth a new millennial culture that is a peace culture for our planet. And we're going to give birth to it this week and next, and during this spring season. We're going to travel back a little bit in time, all the way back to the new millennium beginning, around the year 2000, and all the spring months that we've had since then, and all the autumnal golden ones since then, and then all the birthdays and conception days and name days, all years rounds and holy days since then. Because we're going back to what would have been the beginning of the new millennium. And it is going to start, and we're going to bring it about. All of your birthdays are important. Today, we're celebrating a number of them, and they're all very, very important. One is a mother and a child who I knew as children and who are very close on my family tree branch. But all of your birthdays, all of your conception days, and all of your name days and holy days are essential to this circle. And we have to understand that. And when we understand it, then that's a true birth. Right now, you're kind of in a not fully human divine situation. You're losing your humanity because you're defining birth as too individualistic and too atomized and the too nuclearized. We are part of a family constellation, family tree. So let me do the ceremony today, and we're going to catch up this week because we know we're leaving a lot of people. But right now, frankly, I'm so emotional about all this, what's going on, that I don't feel like I'm doing my best job. I'm too emotional, and I need to take a step to the side and calm myself down. So we're showing the marvelous, miraculous place, the home that was the hat crown halo gathering place for women and children and youths, females and males. And I'm just going to play this tape. Okay, now these are important voices among the many voices who have come together in our family tree, and there's more. And your voices need to be included in these broadcasts, and all of these voices back and forth and traveling in time. And all of you as co-secretary generals, co-sefiras, equinox, true cutes, you all have the new millennial golden rule to share and to give out, and to congratulate each other on knowing about and understanding solar energies and divine democracy based in every love thy neighborhood. Love and respect thy neighborhood of females and males of all generations, past, present, future. You have the ability to do this. Not everybody has been given as much giftedness as you have been, but you have great giftedness, and that's why you're being given this. Now, I have a lot of work to do, and I'm yet running slightly behind, which is very frustrating for me. I wanted to have this all ready for you today, and I don't.
And that breaks my heart that I don't. But I don't. So I know God is very forbearing to us. And I've been given a signal by Mother, Father, Goddess, God, that we do have a little time yet. And we should remember that a birthday of a really marvelous, miraculous mother and child and their family constellation, because it involves them all, is never one day. And it's always in a circle. And it always connects to other people's, females and males. And so we have to do what we have to do in that context, and that I will be making some additional personal videos today that will not be shown online. There is an individual aspect to a birthday, and to all of the birthdays that have been missed already, and conception days that have been missed already this season, and throughout the last numbers of seasons, the most recent seasons since the millennial year, including many of my birthdays and conception days that you've all been missing, and missing one another's. So you've seen lots of videos. I may re-include some of the older ones that you've seen in the past that were sent to you before we had the Hangouts on air. Because you need to be reminded of your specialness. So let me do this. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both and each and every one. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers and water. Hugs and love to all, both and each and every one, as soon as possible. And everyone as soon as possible. Okay? Now, and we'll say, Namaste. Mitakuye oyasin. Mitakuye kose viral. Kongs on Pax, ko on Pax culture. Pax culture, peace culture. Merci, Shlantavag. Ubuntu, buenos dias. Das Vidanya, sayonara, chap chap. Shlantavag. Mir, pace. And very importantly for us, tiubest, sedleric, tiubesk. And for all people, that's actually very important for all people. People don't recognize some of the things that happened in that region that were very, very important. And ciao, and cheerio, and good day. And if I've left many, I'm sure I've left some out, you just add them in. And I'll say love and live, eternally young, longest, and prosper, every one and all. Let's say that again. Love and live, eternally young, longest, and prosper, every one and all. Now we'll drink the milk of human kindness, representing all, both, and each, and on behalf of all, both, and each, as Equinox True Q's Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Saviorahs, past, present, and future, and especially celebrating the 2 to 3 years of normal time of breastfeeding of every holy baby girl and every holy baby boy with their mothers. Holy mothers, all mothers are holy when they live in a parity culture that gives appreciation for what women actually do. And even women who do not bear children have a great role to play in reinforcing the importance of the breastfeeding and understanding that they too were born of mothers and that they carry a different level of human kindness that also has to be flowing around too. And we also have to know that we need the milk of human kindness as both something that serves our individual needs, but we also need it collectively to and from all people, past, present, future, at all stages and ages of our loving, living eternal lives as Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sefiraz, Equinox, True Qs, that knowledge that this is very, very important is part of the Eleusinian mysteries revealed, that this is the root of empathy, creativity, democracy, and the resilience for eternal life. So we drink for all, both, and each, the milk of human kindness for all, both, and each and everyone as soon as possible, on behalf of all, representing and on behalf of all, both, and each and everyone as soon as possible, as Equinox, True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sefiraz. And we'll drink the water of enlightened, loving, living planets that will reclaim and sustain our planet Earth and all our Earths to be, past, present, future, as Equinox, True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sefiraz. And all of our Aurora, Apollo, well, let's put it this way, our Gaia, Astrea, Venus, Marsyas, Aurora, Apollo, all are various names of a young and youthful universe connected by the stargates and by solar sailing vessels. We can do this, and we'll all have a marvelous, miraculous combination of Stargate and Star Trek, the peaceful cultures depicted in these anthropological great imaginings that were really very great in what they taught us, and how that connects with comparative religion and is an absolute fulfillment of all the comparative religions, traditions, and mythological and archetypal stories of our planet, and the stories of our own lives as we look at them through a balanced anthropological lens. Okay, and we'll say, we'll drink to all, both, and each and everyone as soon as possible, blessing all, both, and each and everyone as possible, as Equinox, True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sefiraz. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days together, past, present, future, as Equinox, True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sefiraz. And that means starting with our equinox seasons, that is our spring and autumnal golden spring, the reciprocals in the southern and the northern hemispheres, because we have to learn to think as a yin-yang circle, always expanding and always in balance. Past, present, future, our Shekinahs and our young Shekinahs and our young Hekinahs, including those of today, but those of yesterday and the day before and earlier this week and last month, as well as this coming month, as well as all this season, and going back to autumnal golden equinoxes too. Well, past, present, future, as Equinox, True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sefiraz. And yes, I include my own, and our own mother's birthdays and great and grandmother's birthdays in that, of course. And we'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days together, past, present, future, as Equinox, True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Sefiraz. And of course, these include all the Margulian, all of the Silver Golden Kindian, all of the Zalkindian, all the Feldmarian, all the Sweetened Saganine, all of the Goldenbergian, all of the Goldbergian, all of the many, many names that came into this family tree, both as family members through marriage, especially through Kasina, whether by marriage or just through association, collegiality, school relationship, and work, neighborhood, neighbors, and shared interest areas, and all of the connections that are possible to people that are important, and that we will be on the true continuum to have many, many times to explore, all time to explore, zillions and trillions of hours and days to explore and enjoy together. And that's what these consciousness currencies indicate, that kind of unlimited wealth. And so we'll say, I wanted to do 5. I hope I did 5 sets. And now our big family tree circles, and these show some of the people who have had birthdays within the past and conception days within the past month and month and a half, and in golden of equinox time too, and the current of today. Now, among famous people, already famous, you're famous to me. You're the most famous to me. But also it includes Ethel Rennick Skakel Fitzgerald Kennedy, who was born in Chicago, and Kasturba Kapadia Gandhi on our Vedic branches, the undersung Mahatma Amma, and very important for all of our family. And then we have our youth who are having birthdays within the last few weeks, and including today, and conception days of some of their birthdays of their mothers, and so forth. And they're all here. You see, you know whose pictures these are. These are you. These are you. And we do include, of course, Georgine. We include Anna Marie and Mount Patricia, who are included here too. You're all included here. All of the Margulian, the Silver Goldian, the Zalkindian, the Feldmarian, and the Goldenbergian, and more, many, many more. The Sagan sweetened, and all of those. Okay, and all of you, your mothers, your great and grandmothers, their sister Kazinas, your current mothers and sister Kazinas, and all of our young sister Kazinas and cousin brothers, our young Shekinas and Hikinas, who are aged 37 and younger. And even if you're turning 37 today, you are yet 37. You're 37 for at least a year. So we want to make sure that you have the time, but we don't want you to take all that time to make your transition, because every day you don't, more the butterflies, the birdies, and the bees are missing. The environmental situation on Earth gets darker and darker and darker. The social situation becomes more and more depraved, bullying, bystanderish, and victimizing. You don't want this. This isn't what you want. So let's do what we have to do together as Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Saviors, as quickly as possible. And you know, your great and grand Hikina are watching this too. They're also working through me. All of the people who want to come through the stargates know that it has to start with the resurrection of the divine feminine, the goddess within women, and the divine feminine aspect of men, particularly young men, who are fresher and have less of the baggage of the adjustment to thinking that they have hegemonous hubris and expect women to be their maids. Women who are adjusted to that and take that role are adjusted down, and they are just as dangerous as the men. So we have to bring forth the advantage risen in all of us. So here we go, more these particular branches, so close to me and very celebrated today, but they're not the only ones celebrated, the ones we've just shown you. I celebrated them earlier today because their birthdays have, too many of them have come and gone this year already. And that's not fair. And they're going to get separate additional videos to make up for what you've all been missing to do. I'm willing to pick up after you. I don't mind being your maid a little bit, as long as the goodness is not lost to this world. You have to assume some fairness and make a circle. You have to make your fairness. You have to live by fairness. You have to show care and concern for all the females as well as the young males, all the people on your circle. Now our larger circle, you know, you've seen these pictures before. Sister Kazinas, past, present, and our young Shekinas and our young Yekinas. Young Sister Kazinas and young cousin brothers who are egalitarian, not patriarchal. And I'm going to do the birthdays again today, because today is a very special day and I don't want it to be treated as anything less than it is. It's a very important day. But a lot of very important days have been happening and you've been missing them. I've not been missing them. And I've been calling everyone, but you have not. And I will not tolerate that from you anymore. You're all going to be gently shamed. I'm working on that. And I'm doing it for your own good so you can live in an eternal heavenly planet, on all planets. Okay, did the birthdays again, the birthday cakes, and we'll do them again. Birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days cakes. Remember, these cakes have the shape of circles. They contain worlds that are in the shape of spheres, which are circles, multiple dimensional circles. And the heart is essentially a circle. Make your circles. Make your circles. Make your circles. As Co-Secretary General's Co-Secretary Equinox Recuse. Make our circles, make our circles, make our circles. And here in this circular clear bowl is all the color of the light of the rainbow in the fruits that we are, the fruits and vegetables of the world that we are also beta photosynthesis. And we say, we'll choose parity paradisal on all our planets, and we'll say no to plutonic patriarchy, planetocide. We'll say no to planetocide patriarchal, and yes to parity paradisal on this and all our planets as Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretary Equinox True Qs. No, I'm not doing any outreach calls right now or trying to bring any other voices here. I want this to be very pure and simple today. I'm the person with the deepest circle consciousness. I want it to just be me. And you don't need any visitors today. One person is enough. One person is enough with the help of the Mother, Father, Goddess, God, who I believe I do have. But it isn't enough to sustain completely. And in order for that to happen, you all have to join. Everyone has to do their part. And we'll say, I don't want just an occasional walker by. I want all of you on a permanent and comfortably happy basis. And so we'll say, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all of our heritages, of all their languages, of all their heritages of our earth and earths, past, present, future together, as Equinox True Qs, Co-Secretary Generals, Co-Secretaries. And we'll say, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the languages of our earth and our earths, past, present, future, as co-secretary generals, co-SZT, equinox, true cues. Now, some of the birthdays and conception days that have occurred within this last month and a half or two, and are occurring today, are of Kazinas, to the proprietresses of this marvelous home and gathering place for hat trying on for the hats of democracy, the crowns of the Statue of Liberty. And some of them are direct descendants today. And I am a direct descendant. And we have not yet come together. And we are going to come together. And when I do, and when we do, then I will once again say your names aloud. So you will hear them on a tape like this, but you won't even need a tape like this that's going on this phone tree. You'll be able to be in the ceremony online and on the sacred ground in many, many places. That is what I want for you. That is what God wants for you. This is just a mini taste of a birthday present. Don't consider this a major birthday present. You're just getting a little teeny nibble of the cake, because you got a really marvelous, miraculous, big cake and cakes to enjoy together in your circles. And that's what I want for you. And that's what God wants for you. And that's what your birthright is. And that's what your conception right is. And that's what your holiness is. Holy baby girls and holy baby boys. And I know you. And I know you have the holy baby girl and holy baby boy. All of you have the holy child within you. And we bring it together, and when we bring it together, we become the holy young adults for all time. We become equinox true cues. We become risen without death. Now, I want to warn you. Some of you who should have been doing this already have not, mainly because the mothers of this generation in the North American continent have been mind programmed to be self-destructive. Self and other destructive. Some of them already had some of these tendencies in the form of electric complex or low self-esteem. Mother wounds. It's very common in this culture because it's a dominator culture, so it brings forth a lot of that among many, many families. But all of these injuries can be healed. And once we get what we should have had all along, which is a free media, once we reclaim that, we have amply the educational and dramatizational abilities to communicate to all people how to have a more ideal family and community life, and how to have a sustainable planet on this and all planets as equinox true cues. We have the ability to communicate the new millennial golden rule very easily. The problem is that people are complacent and winking at what has become the most devastating dictatorship that has ever existed on this planet, because it has already caused Katrina, Sandy, the big tsunami that killed several 250 or 290 some thousand people in Indonesia and India. It has already caused numerous numbers of earthquakes that are set off by fracking. It's caused numerous unnecessary passings from asthma and from all manner of illness, substance abuse. It's caused a tremendous toll already. It caused 163 million little baby unborn girls in Asia and the former Soviet republics due to misuse of ultrasound. We have a huge casualty list already. Don't let it include you, and don't let it include anyone who has ever lived on Earth, because they're waiting in the Akashic record to be remembered, to be loved, to have parity and peace culture return to them and regain, so they can become risen on all the planets, and you can open the stargates and you have your mansions on all the mansions of the Mother, Father, Goddess, God, without limitation, without even needing money. Solar power will take care of most of the money issues of this world and all worlds.
You just have to think about that a little bit. Think of how much of your food bill, your transportation costs, your heating and your cooling are taking from what you earn. Think of how much of what you do has to do with that simple matter. And we already have the technology to fix that, and we already have the computer technology to communicate it. So what is it we need? Your heart. We need the heart of human kindness. We need the women to show regard for themselves as decision makers. And you'd have it all. Overnight, within a matter of months. Or would you prefer to die in your own waste? We know that isn't what you want. We know it isn't what you really want. But you're caught in a pattern. You have a pattern compulsion going on. That pattern is patriarchy. That pattern is nuclear familyism, atomic familyism, and lack of interest in your neighbors. That pattern is the way of life in North America, and it is the wrong way. You're going to change it around, and we love you. This is a big birthday gift for all of you. One person gives the gifts to everyone else. That's the biggest gift a person can give, something that benefits everyone. So let's each of us think of a way in which we can do that, and let that be the way you celebrate your own and every birthday that you've ever known of every person that you ever know, and especially our young people, our females and males, and all their mothers, and all their great and grandmothers, and all the Shekinas, and all the young Shekinas and young Hekinas. Start it today. This is a very important day. 411 means information. And it means the information of the balance of the parenthood, 1 and 2, the mother and the father and the mother, in an equal and turning yin and yang, a combination. And it also means the sisterhood and the brotherhood, the 3 and the 4. It doesn't just mean 4. It includes a 3, and includes the 2 and the 1 too. And we have a 511 and a 611 coming up yet in our springtime. All of these are important, but the most important is that it's all 11. Every moment is L. Every moment is both the young, remembering the young woman, ELLE, and remembering that the nature of the name El, that's in Israel, and my name, Rachel, L, and El Shabai, and L, lots of L's. L can be written backwards and forwards, traveling back and forth in time, ELLE. And when you award your great and grandmothers and their sister Kazinas what they should have had, as at our home, that it was the hat store, that is a hat, not really a store, it's a gathering place. More importantly, when you do that, and you travel back in time, then when you travel forward to your present time and your future time, you have fixed the problem that's been holding you back. And you have eternal life, and past, present, and future, risen, resurrected, and risen. Okay, so that's the message I'm going to leave for you. And I want this as a gift for all of you. We'll have to see who that beep-in was. I'm not sure who it was, but I felt that this was so important that I didn't want to interrupt it at all. So I'm pretty sure I think I know who it was. Maybe it was just a telemarketer, but sometimes they send us important messages too in the numerology of their calls. I love you. Goddess God loves you. If I have failed you in any way, it wasn't because I didn't love you. And it wasn't because Goddess God didn't love you. It's because you don't love yourselves and one another. So start loving yourselves and one another. And make mine and Goddess God's jobs a little bit easier. Happy all the holy days, birthdays, conception days, name days, and all the holy days of all the traditions. They're all in you. You know who you are, and you know who I'm talking about. All of you. Don't forget one another. I'm going to send this message.
To save this message, press 1. Your greeting has been saved. To change extension type,
Hello, did you just call me? What I think I'm trying to say to you, Robbie, is that these women have been profoundly stressed. I don't know if you know, they were wrongly evicted from where they were living on a trailer court. Do you know about that?
That's even before this situation was supposed.
Well, it led up to it. It's what you call a precipitant.
Well, then what exactly is it that you know about?
I want them to be restored to where they were living in a trailer home with proper community in their trailer courts on behalf of all the people who are in this situation, which is several million people.
You have to work on that yourself on your own time. There's nothing I can do about
Oh, I will be working on it, and I'm sure there's quite a bit you can do. Let me get your email address. Well, as far as I know, they've been under terrible stress, and sign of the structural problem in North America. The most is family therapy. Okay, so I see this as a systemic problem that is of parity. It's an outgrowth of patriarchy instead of parity. And my job is to bring parity to the entire world. Are you with me? Okay, so that's how I want to help them and help myself and other people, because a lot of people have had very confused situations, in part made worse by courts that don't have enough female judges. The judges themselves have no training in family matters, but they're dealing with family matters. And also, you found that in this situation, they had a mediator who had developed a mediated agreement where they would be allowed to stay on their original home property, but their management company illegally broke the mediated agreement, and there was no follow-up. So they've been the victims of a system that is letting a lot of things that are important for family bonding and human caring fall through the cracks, and this falls very heavily on women.
And it is part of the system now.
Well, I believe that the way to help her is to help her entire system, including you. This could happen to you one day. This could happen to your wife or your sister. This could happen to anybody. Right. Well, I'll get back with